show, the fast 5 things you need to know. We'll start your day off swirly, it's the toast. I sound amazing.
I do sound amazing.
If you're not swirling your finger in the air when you hear "we'll start your day off swirly," I don't know if you're
living life to the fullest.
1000%. Welcome back to the toast. Hey, Jax, how you doing?
Hey, Claude, I'm good. Happy to be back at the toast with you. We've got a lot to do today. I'm like very excited for a lot of things to talk about. Watched Summer House last night.
Me too.
Endeavored to watch a little more Lib. Didn't happen, really.
Okay, it happens.
Didn't happen in a meaningful way. Devoid of meaning.
I, too, have a lot of things I need to cover. I actually wrote them down and a little note on my phone, okay? One, Summer House, obviously, we both watched. Not us, like, being the main characters. That's one. Two, I wanted to update everyone. Jackie and I have made the executive decision to upload our theme song to Spotify.
I pushed and pushed because I need it on repeat.
It is on its way. 2 to 5 business days, they say. So just monitor that. We'll let you guys know. Your kids can listen to it in the car. And I do think that this is the beginning of like a beautiful musical journey for us, because now that we have and we have our own official like artist page. I did the whole thing. So once we have our own page on Spotify, like what's stopping us from releasing original music, covers, things of that nature?
We have an artist page. We have a producer. We have a songwriter, Becca.
We have a distribution channel. Like what are we doing?
Yeah. We have original songs. We've been working on our songwriting for years.
I keep running away with you to dance with your heart.
Yeah, we'll have to go back to that episode to hear this original song that we wrote.
So that was the first thing. The second thing was, I don't know if you know what today is. Do you know?
Thursdays, February 27th. Did we say like something like a year ago? Remind us.
No.
The day before February 28th.
No.
What is it?
It's National Toast Day.
Oh my gosh.
Which also coincides, quite poetically, with National Chili Day.
We're living in a simulation.
Now, I think that like national days are like the lowest form of human communication.
They're
like,
the lowest form of content.
Yeah, like when I was a social media intern, my job was like literally making graphics for like National Margarita Day.
No, when you work in social media, national days like are
your bread and butter
saving grace. There's nothing better than a National Margarita Day.
And the websites that like what's the word I'm looking for, aggregate all the days, so like you could just pull up, be like, all right, what should I do for work today? Oh, it's National Lemons Day.
It's like, National Muffins Day.
But it is National Toast Day, and if we're not going to acknowledge that, like who will?
That's so true. And if we're not going to acknowledge a National Chili Day, like literally who would?
Right.
I don't know.
So I did want to acknowledge the space that we are in and, you know, kind of honor the national calendar in that way.
By the way, speaking of National Margarita Day, did you see that Lifetime is doing a sponsored movie with Chili's? And it's called like It All Happens on National Margarita Day.
Is it a spoof or it's like a real movie?
It's like a real movie about like 2 people who connect at Chili's on National Margarita Day. Unless like what I saw was a parody, but there was scenes filmed.
I feel like it's a way to make news, and like they probably did film a bunch of stuff, but I don't think there's a feature film, like an 1.5 hour long movie that was made.
Claudia, watch I'll Be Home for National Margarita Day on Lifetime, presented by Chili's. Celebrating National Margarita Day at the local Chili's is the highlight of the year. But when a big city developer threatens a town, hold on, I'm agreeing to their terms, threatens a town holiday tradition, exes Liz, Maria Menounos, and Sam, Tay Diggs, must team up to stop him.
Star-studded. Again, are we sure this isn't a really elaborate marketing campaign?
Who knows how long the movie actually is? 15 minutes. Okay, it's a short film.
Oh, okay.
It's a short film. But that's a lot.
I like that.
I don't hate it.
I would like it.
And maybe if it's good enough, like it would get the extended version. I'll be home for National Margarita Day.
Unfortunately, this year I will be home for National Margarita Day. I will not be able to celebrate.
When is National Margarita? Is it not Cinco de Mayo?
It's an amazing question. I don't know why it would. Oh, speaking of you being amazing, we have to issue a correction from yesterday's episode. Karen Huger was on her 4th DUI.
What?
Not her second.
even worse.
Yeah, so that really makes sense why. And I believe she was booked yesterday. Like, she's literally in prison.
Yeah, no, she can't be stopped from drinking and driving. So maybe some time in the slammer would put things into perspective for her.
And then when she leaves and she's fresh out the slammer, I'm coming back home to Ray. Do you think Ray is going to like stick it out? It's hard to have a partner in prison.
He's going to stick it out. She has like rode with him through some tough times for him as well.
That's very true. That's very true. I forgot about those dark years where they had to move out of the Potomac zip code.
And she was there for him. So if he leaves, like seriously despicable.
Seriously.
And it's like he didn't leave for the first 3 DUIs. So like you've always loved her.
Now you've developed a moral compass?
No.
No, I don't think so.
And seriously, Ray, like you should drive her.
Well, that's the other thing. I hate to blame Ray because it was Karen's fault. But like a woman should never be driving herself at night.
Yeah. And he should know like she likes to drink and drive.
Right.
Maybe I'll drop her off and pick her up.
Like he's supposed to be there like as a guardian angel. He's an older gentleman, so like he knows better, he's wiser. Like
he didn't do his part.
I definitely blame Ray. And
100%.
that's the toxic Karen Huger stan in me.
And think about like what she might have been driving away from. Maybe it was Ray.
The way we've totally flipped on DUIs, like they're the most despicable thing, and now we're like, well, what were they running from?
Right. Well, just you, because you take a really strong stance. Not that I'm like pro.
By the way, not that I would ever, because like I barely drive, but if I ever got a DUI, I don't know how I could show my face on this podcast again.
You could never show your face again.
And I have no plans to drink and drive, but that's also like one thing that will like guarantee you guys I will never, because I couldn't face the public backlash.
No. You would lose all credibility.
Yeah, you guys would stop listening to this podcast, and I actually would agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. Like one thing you can count on is I'm not going to drink and drive, mostly because I really don't drive much. Like, and if I am in a car, Ben's driving.
And you live in a city, like it's not so hard.
Right.
But
yeah, like it would be harder for me.
Sticks, you might not be talking such a big game. Everyone get an Uber.
No, and I've been like in places where like you're drinking and it's so hard to get home, and like. Not that I understand, but like I see how somebody could make such a bad decision because it's not so easy. In New York, like it actually would be harder for me to drink and drive myself home than it would be like drink and take a taxi, drink and take an Uber, drink and like literally hail a gypsy cab. Like there's a million ways.
She's softening.
I'm not at all.
You just said I could see how it could happen.
That's not what I said.
Karen's changed you.
That's not what I said.
She broke the matrix, really.
She did. She's like one of the few people who like she put me in a tough spot.
Yeah. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah. I'm sorry for Karen. She's literally in jail. Like,
I'm sorry for the divider that she hit.
I'm sorry for the
person who had to clean it up and build a new one and
and the reckless abandon which she acted with, you know? I'm sorry for a lot.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a lot of news today. A lot of stories broke yesterday. So
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Michelle Trachtenberg, which is so sad, but there's also another developing celebrity death news. I don't know if it's a story, but I did want to.
Yeah, of course. I feel vomiting. That man is like so
I think
integral.
A lot of people maybe don't know who Gene Hackman is. And I don't know if I would know. He's a 95-year-old actor, so he's like a little bit before our time. But if you guys know Jackie and I, you know how much Gene Hackman means to us because we are obsessed with quoting his line from our favorite movie starring Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt and Gene Hackman called Heartbreakers. And right before he has his heart attack, he says, "I feel like vomiting." And we say it all the time.
We say it all the time. We love that movie. And if you've been around for a while and you do your homework, it was definitely a Toast movie of the week during COVID. So hopefully you've watched it and that you also have a warm spot in your heart for Gene Hackman and are affected by the news today.
Yeah. So just wanted to make a cultural reference, a toasty reference.
Yeah. No,
very sad news today.
I felt like vomiting when I saw that.
1,000%.
It's a bit of a disturbing story. We'll get into the details in the Fast Five, but this is not the Fast Five.
No, this is not. This is the pre-Fast Five banter where it really goes down.
Yeah. Also yesterday, Brutus got a haircut. My baby boy doing? Like never misses an appointment. He's good, but his groomer said like he seems a little stressed.
Oh, okay. Well, did Brutus get I sent out PR boxes. Did you get?
I did. Bruno got your PR package.
Okay, because I am a brand ambassador for a pet wellness brand called Wagwell, and I actually feel like Bruno is kind of my target demo. He has a very high stress life.
He does.
And I think between the skincare products, the supplements, the treats that are made, with really premium ingredients, I think if Bruno could post about my PR box, I would appreciate that.
Oh, you think that would move the needle?
Just a little.
sales
Bruno's
skyrocketed.
highly influential.
He is highly influential because he's the type, like he's very brand loyal. He doesn't use a lot of different products, and like when he hones in on what he likes, like he will use it forever.
That's
like,
so Bruno.
Like the Sunbeam heating pad.
High bar, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll have to get him on his Wagwell because like he was very stressed, very tight in the neck.
Yeah, you can let him know. Like I know that the box was like delivered and signed for, and he didn't post about it.
Sitting by the door.
And he didn't post about it. So
no,
tell
that's
Bruno,
because you want to know why he got right into everything before he could take an aesthetic photo.
Sure.
That's classic.
Oh, it's 50 degrees in New York. So I was going to say, even though it's National Chili Day, like I actually can't really make a chili.
It's not a chili day for you.
It's not.
I made homemade tomato sauce last night and hamburger meatballs with Italian seasoning, which is just meatballs. But if you've been following along, it's really funny. It's just a funny bit.
And why have you decided to like torture yourself in making your own sauce when like Rayo's exists?
I thought I told you this when my friends Sam and Ben were here.
I know, and like, it was really good, and maybe for a special occasion.
So much so that Rayo's doesn't taste the same, and that's why like every time I now make tomato sauce, like I'm not doing it happily. I'm cursing them for ever making me homemade tomato sauce because I can't go back.
Oh, I meant to call you. I don't know how long ago it was, but you gave me, like, just in case for a rainy day, if anything ever were to happen, a little bit of sourdough starter.
I did.
And I thought when I had gestational diabetes that like that would be the time where I
to your starter.
Because you said that like it's like literally the only thing you can eat like when you.
No, it's like the only way you could have a piece of bread that has 0 sugar.
So I obviously don't have gestational diabetes. Thank God, thank God, thank God. But I did just take a look at the sourdough starter this morning, and it's black.
So yes, if you leave discard in the fridge for a while, it can get black on top. Some people, you could just like take that off and still move on forward with it. But I know you probably won't do that. But are you feeling?
No, by the way, can I?
You can, and then start feeding it. Are you going to start feeding it?
No. So should I just leave? No. Should I just leave it black?
Just leave it then. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll bring you a little more next time I see you, just in case, and then you could swap out.
I almost threw it out. It looked like mold.
Yeah, that's like what it is, but like it's not bad yet. I don't know that I would go with black, but I'll bring you fresh, Kumza.
Okay.
Are you feeling sourdough curious?
No, not at all. I was cleaning out my fridge curious, and
I mean, you can
I saw
throw
this
it away.
like black liquid.
If you're not
no,
gonna
it makes me think of you, and it's in one of the little containers
of
that
baby
like
food jars
of baby food jars, and it's just like, oh, my family's in my fridge. Hey guys, I like wave to you every time I open the door.
But just know I could bring you the same thing again in a month. I think Ben should get into sourdough. Actually, not for your sake. You will be flour all over the kitchen, but like for his life.
No, Ben and powders, because he takes his AG1 every morning. I find little green like mountains of powder all over my house. I can't take it. So no. And 2, not only like the powder, but the sheer amount of utensils required to get a loaf in the oven. Yeah. I just know
no, he's not cut out for it.
What's that bread whisk?
The dough whisk.
The dough whisk. Like that would become the bane of my existence. The scale, the basket. No. I'm not interested in all the accessories.
No, you need a lot of things. You need to keep them clean. They're not dishwasher safe. No.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you.
Never mind.
Thank you for understanding.
You could stick with wild grain.
1000%. Like I can't go there right now.
Yeah, I saw that Wild Grain had something. Wild Grain, not that this is an ad, though they are a sponsor, has frozen fresh pasta, which like I don't want to start making my own pasta. It's just not something I can take on, but I want fresher pasta.
Hop to it.
Hence, Wild Grain.
Yeah. Like, it's just, I know like homemade wares are so much better for you and they taste so much better. Like, I'm so tired,
Yeah. The more you do it, the easier it gets. But I do understand. That. Like, that's why, like, tonight just might be a factor meal.
Right, right.
We're getting like all our brand mentions in.
It's so true. And this is like none of it is sponsored.
No, none of them are sponsors today.
But when you live as authentically as we do and you integrate all your sponsors into your everyday life, it's such a seamless, synergized community.
It is. So maybe we should get into the actual sponsors for today's episode. And
if we must, yes.
The fast 5 stories that you do need to know.
And the fast 5 stories you need to know. You do. By the way, maybe because that was Samantha's song. I actually made a TikTok about it this morning and people were like coming at me in the comments being like, this was my favorite. And I agree. I actually think in terms of like what song I liked the most, Samantha's was. But in terms of what I thought would be the best theme song, Becca's was. I love Samantha's song.
I love Samantha's song. It was my number 1 until like Becca's song like really was growing on me. And like Becca's song was exactly what we needed, like just 4 lines, the top of the show. Like Samantha's song had like a chorus, but
it's a song.
I mean, I was saying like, can we put Samantha's song at the end of the episode? But then it's just like too many songs.
No, I got a bunch of suggestions now, especially now that we're gonna have a Spotify profile. Like, we should just record it and release it as a song, like buy it from her.
Agreed.
And we can use it. Are you ready for it? The fast five, because that's the best part of the song. The fast 5 stories you need to know. You do. Brought to you by, right?
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Samantha.
We'll chat offline with Sam.
Yeah.
It's a party morning with Jackie O and Turdy Lou. Like, it was really good. Like, it was a hard choice.
It was. It really, really was.
And my friend called me this morning and he was like, I can't stop singing the song. And I said to him, and tell me if you feel this way, but you live in Florida and I live in New York, but it does feel like everybody in New York is singing that song. Like, I'm telling you, everywhere I go, they're like singing it.
It's always in my head. It's always in my house. Like, it's
always in my heart.
And it's always in my heart. It's true. And then it's always in my feed because like everyone's enjoying it.
Correct.
Parchi.
It's a party morning.
It's a
Jackie O and
morning.
Turdy Lou. Girly swirlies gather around every day with us. It's a girls' night out. Oh, and you know what I was thinking about this morning?
What?
The next Gizno live podcast that we do, where we have our own song. Like, and I think the next Gizno we've decided that we're going to do is in December. So
yeah,
we have a whole ass year for people to like listen to the podcast, learn the song, love the song. When we walk out to that song, because you know that's going to be our new walkout song, like Sorry, Invincible by Kelly Clarkson, you've gotten the boot. That is a moment I cannot wait for.
A moment like this?
Correct.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I just think we need more music. And like now that we've cracked like
no, seriously,
into the music
the hardest
industry,
part is getting a Spotify profile. Like,
no,
now
I really think like Toast Tunes, the original songs, like everything, it's time to really dig in to our musical selves.
Side.
Mm-hmm. We haven't been musical enough up until this point.
We have not.
So now without further ado, here are the stories.
Okay. And the stories are brought to you by State Farm. Thank you, State Farm, for sponsoring today's episode of The Toast. We know that the Toasters can agree nothing feels better than a personal win. Like when you get your final piece of furniture delivered to your apartment, your home really feels complete. Maybe you hit a personal record in a new run or a workout, whatever it is that you define as a win. It calls for celebration. And do you have any idea who's cheering right beside you, Jax?
Well, Jax and Claude, you're always beside me. I'm always beside you. That goes without saying. And then right behind us is State Farm, the whole company.
The whole company, led by, of course, Jakey from State Farm. Because with the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you can create an affordable price just for you when you bundle home and auto. So celebrate by breaking out the confetti and those happy dance moves. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And also State Farm is there in any like method you feel comfortable with. You can talk to a State Farm agent on their app, on their website. So if you're like a real tech swirly, perhaps you're the IT department of your small business as well. Or you're like more of a Jackie, you prefer to communicate IRL, in person, or over the phone like a grandmother. You could do all of that. They've really got all the toasters covered. So talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. That'll also have to go on our Spotify page, Toast Tunes.
Of course.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Today's episode is also brought to you by BetterHelp. We often hear about the red flags that we should avoid, but what if we focused more on looking for green flags in friends and in partners? I'm not sure. I'm thinking of something funny I have to tell you after reminding. Okay. I'm not sure what they look like, but if you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags. Actively practice them in your relationships and then embody the green flag energy yourself. So whether you're dating, you're married, you're building a friendship, or you're just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. And BetterHelp is a fabulous resource. It's fully online. It makes therapy affordable and convenient, and they serve over 5 million people worldwide. So if you want to access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties, check out BetterHelp. They also make it really easy to switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. I think a lot of people want to get into therapy, but the idea of like having to talk to somebody in person is genuinely too much. And that's why online therapy is so fabulous and BetterHelp is the best in the biz, because you can talk to a therapist at at your convenience in like the method you're most comfortable with. So some people like video chat, some people like phone call, you can text, whatever it is, they're available for you to make you comfortable. And you can discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/toast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/toast. BetterHelp. Check it out at betterhelp.com/TOAST. Now, the thing I wanted to tell you was last night, we're still watching Desperate Housewives. We got to the funniest episode. Tom and Lynette are doing couples counseling, and the therapist says that like after hours, she's like, oh yeah, I do like community theater. They're like, oh, we'd love to come and like support. And they go see her in like some community production, and she's so bad
that they can't take her advice seriously. Yeah.
It was actually one of the funniest concepts. Like me and Ben were cracking up so hard. It was so funny.
That is really funny. I remember that episode.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
We're going to get into the stories, but something that's developing and will probably come out after we wrap today, classic, is that the Jeffrey Epstein lists are like set to be released today. Some names and flight logs. The new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said like Thursday, they're dropping names.
She didn't say before 10:30 a.m. Eastern time though, which was disappointing.
Didn't, which is rude.
Because we could have been first and now we're going to be last.
However, like even if they came out at this point, like during the show, I need a minute to like read, like see what I'm reading.
Yeah,
and also like for other people to break it down.
Yeah, sometimes when news breaks on the toast and it's like really like dense.
Yeah, especially if it's like legal, like
that's how I felt about Karen Huger yesterday. Like I wish I had time to process before I had to like give my opinion on my queen.
Would you have wanted me to shelf it?
No. Also my favorite thing is getting live breaking news. Like because I'm over here, I'm unplugged.
Okay, so
I got my ads.
If the list breaks, I'll tell you that the list breaks, and then we'll like talk about it in depth tomorrow. Sounds good?
Okay. Yeah, but like I feel like if the list breaks, like immediately, like the first, like the biggest, like 3 or 5 people, like they'll do the work for us, the internet.
Yeah. Have you been seeing like the odds makers?
You're kidding. You can bet on who's going to be on the flight logs.
Like, yeah, who's going to be like the top.
Now, do you think somebody being on a flight log?
It made news because now the number one person that people are suspecting will be on it is Jay-Z.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but even though he's not like, I know he's definitely got stuff going on, but I never like fully associated him with Epstein. With
Epstein specifically, no, me neither. But do you think that somebody being on a flight log is an automatic like admission of like pernicious, I don't know if that's the right word, like peculiar pedophilic behavior?
No, I think one flight, maybe 2. It depends how far apart they are. I think maybe you gotta like people hitch a ride all the time, and
like rich people love to pick up other rich people on their planes.
Friends was that's how. There will be people who are back and forth, like take me to the
Bill
island.
Clinton.
Like, yeah, and then there will probably be people that it's like a little suspicious, but not as much, so I think there'll be degrees, but just because you're on it once, like it's really unfortunate.
I agree, but that's the same way I feel about like all those Getty images of like Ghislaine Maxwell with different celebrities. Like when you're a celebrity, like and you're around really wealthy people, like you go on each other's planes, you take pictures at events. It's not an admission of like, oh, I knew you were a madam and you were hiring hookers for me.
But the flight log will also say where they went. So if they just got like a ride home from the Super Bowl, that's different.
Like
good call. Did you go
if
to
you're
the
going
island
to and fro from what do they call the island? Pedophile Island? What's like the colloquial term for it?
Epstein Island.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to and fro Epstein Island and you're not even coming back with so much as a tan, I'm suspicious.
Yeah. So that's why you need to like, but there will be, hopefully it goes in order of frequency.
Do you know? Yeah. Hopefully whoever's like doing the stats will release like, here are the most famous people, but here are also the people who went the most times, the most frequent riders.
Yeah. No, like don't put it in alphabetical order. I want frequency.
Oh, fuck the alphabet
Excel, sort by amount.
If you were to take a look at my outfit, you would assume that I'm wearing a set, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that I'm not? I just happen to have this shirt and these pants that like they're the same material. They're the same color.
Spanx?
No, my pants are from Revolve and my top is from Avara.
Interesting.
I know. I feel like I'm hacking life.
It looks like the Spanx Air.
Right, Air Essentials. Yeah. I feel like I'm walking around, everybody's like, oh, cute set. I'm like, you don't even know.
It's not a set.
You don't even know the ingenuity that went into picking out this look.
Wait, speaking of looks, I dropped a Patreon vlog yesterday.
Oh my God, the worst kind of Patreon vlog.
No, but I was having fun. I think people really enjoyed it. And it was like...
No, I'm talking about, sorry, the audience loves it, and that's why we do it. To be the creator of the vlog is one of the worst experiences. Well, it wasn't a try-on vlog. Jackie was sharing all like the new clothes she got for spring, but...
And all the like the new stuff I'm liking and like my new style and just taking you guys on like a style journey. The only thing that was treacherous about it was like cleaning up my closet after, because I pulled out everything I bought in the last
Putting
2
it
weeks,
back on
tried them all on,
hangers.
threw them on the floor to try on the next one. So that was the hardest part. But it's a really fun fashion vlog if you are into that sort of thing. Patreon.com/toast.
Okay, fashion girl.
Okay, so like now should we get into the stories?
I guess. It's really sad. I know we have to talk about Michelle Trachtenberg, but I actually was somebody who really was impacted by her work. I know a lot of our listeners were. Like, I really loved her. And I feel really sad, so I'm definitely procrastinating, but yes.
I agreed. I like loved her when I've seen her, and then like seeing everything, all of these tributes to her just reminds me so much of how fantastic she was, and also like the kind of person she was. We didn't know her or anything, but the things that people are writing about her are just like so above and beyond in terms of how like electric and full of light she was and personality. And so this is just really sad. But here are the details, because Michelle Trachtenberg, the Gossip Girl, Harriet the Spy, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Well, that's the other thing. Now everybody's like sharing their favorite things. Like when I think of Michelle Trachtenberg, I know she was in a lot of things, but now that I'm like looking at her career as a whole, she literally raised us from like Harriet the Spy up until Gossip Girl. She was in Eurotrip. Ice Princess is my favorite fucking movie. Like, she really did it all.
Yes, she was found dead in New York City on Wednesday at 39 years old. A source told People that in the year prior, she was, quote, really down emotionally. She had also been dealing with health issues. She told friends she was struggling, this source says. She was really, really sick and open with those in her circle about how much she was struggling. Physically, they claim that she looked pale, gaunt, and very thin. Yes, in the most recent photos of her, both on her Instagram and also like professional photos, she does look very thin and very pale. Around 8 a.m. on February 26th, police responded to a 911 call at 1 Columbus Place in New York City. The NYPD confirmed to People. Upon arrival, they discovered a 39-year-old female unconscious and unresponsive. They responded to the location and pronounced the victim deceased. Criminality is not suspected. Also, she had recently undergone a liver transplant.
Right. So I think that if you looked at her social media in recent years, you could tell that she physically looked different. Whether, she was struggling with illness or something wasn't clear. And so I didn't know until yesterday that she had recently undergone a transplant for a new liver. So it's just, it's so sad because she was so young and like really so full of talent. And I think she really left her mark on a generation of young women that I would include myself in. And I just rewatched Gossip Girl, so she's like very present. And I don't know, sometimes when a celebrity dies, like it really hits you. And this is just terrible.
Especially, it was so shocking because I guess I personally hadn't like kept up with her in the last few years. I didn't even really know she was so unwell. Like some people, when they
I did
pass, like due to sickness or drug use or whatever, like you see the signs leading up.
They're publicly kind of deteriorating.
Yeah, or they're up and then they're down and they're up and down. And for me, like she's just been so quiet for the last few years that like this came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't think about her a lot. So when I saw her name in the headlines, I'm like, oh, what's she up to? And it certainly wasn't expected to see deceased.
Yeah.
So sad. Blake Lively posted a tribute.
Jenny Momsen. I think Kim Cattrall. Like everyone.
Jenny Momsen.
What's her name?
Taylor Momsen. Jenny Humphrey.
Everyone that she's ever worked with. And like, I'm sure, anytime someone passes, people are going to say something nice. But just something about the way people were talking about her. Like she just seemed like a really incredible person. Yeah.
And a fun fact about Michelle Trachtenberg is she dated like my absolute celebrity crush when I was in high school. And I don't know if I really knew that she was a New Yorker. Like I associate her with New York because of Gossip Girl, but the fact that she still lives in New York, so she was obviously like a gal about town at the time. And when I was in high school, there was a basketball player on the Knicks called Danilo Gallinari. He was Italian. I don't think he spoke a lick of English. He was so fucking hot.
No, we're obsessed.
And he no longer plays, but like he had a couple of years in New York where he was like pretty good. And so he was kind of just like he was a guy
just,
about
like,
town.
Handsome. I don't even remember
so
if he was
hot.
Good.
No, he was good. It wasn't like amazing, And they dated, and she was like the only celebrity or like woman I ever saw him date. And then I ran into him at the Faena like years ago, and I asked him to take a picture, and I was like actually being a freak. Like, the way I was obsessed with this man, and she dated him. I believe there's like one photo of them together. And I loved that for her. Like slay. It was such like a New York moment. And she was a queen for that. She was a princess, an ice princess. And I wish her family well. She was a Jewish queen.
I didn't know or didn't remember that she's Jewish.
I mean, Trachtenberg, like,
now that
we went to camp with her.
Michelle, yeah, no, now that I think about it, of course, but I when I think of like Jewish celebrities and actresses, like I never thought of her.
Right. I need to find that picture of her and Danilo Gallinari just to like feel something again.
Just,
I was
like,
so
printed out and hang it on your wall.
I was so jealous at the time, but it also like, because I'm crazy, gave me hope because like she was a brunette Jew. Like that's obviously your type.
Jew.
That's obviously your type. Now, I can't even find one photo of them together. Maybe they were just spotted together.
Doesn't matter. That counts.
Yeah, Bleacher Report. Gossip Girl star Michelle Trachtenberg dating Nick's Danilo Gallinari, according to New York Post report. She was 26 and he was 22. Oh, a younger man.
Ooh.
No, it was real. I guess they were never even spotted together. That's really crazy.
So it's just your imagination.
Yeah, I guess I like AI generated like a photo in my head because there was one like specific one in mind, but I guess not.
It's your memory playing tricks on you.
Once again.
And then our next story, which is also sad news, is that legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa and their dog found dead in New Mexico home.
So was the dog dead? I wasn't getting like clear.
So no one's like spelling it out completely because they say like Gene and his wife and dog
and the dog were found,
or like Gene and his wife found dead with dog. I don't know.
Right, and so was the dog there, or was the dog also dead?
I don't know exactly. I'm feeling like the dog was dead, and also how long were they dead for? Like, Right,
and I think a lot of people, because the police say there was no foul play. Suspected, which is so crazy when two people are found dead. I think a lot of people are just jumping to the conclusion that they died of carbon monoxide poisoning, which happens a lot. Like if you're in the same house, which I do think would also take out a dog.
Yes. Okay. That is a
because how like it is suspicious by nature. You're both dead. He's 95. She's in her 60s.
She's 63.
So like
yeah, but
so.
Yeah.
If it's not foul play, but you're both found dead, I actually think people jumping to that conclusion is a pretty safe assumption.
Yes.
It's very common. It's more common than you would think.
That's really crazy if that's what happened.
And that's actually a great reminder to you and everyone. Check on your carbon monoxide alarm things.
Yeah. A good one should let you know when they're like not functioning.
Just check on them.
Okay. Well, they were found dead in their New Mexico home. Santa Fe County police discovered the bodies of the two-time Oscar winner, the classical pianist, and one of their dogs while performing a welfare check. They did not provide a cause of death or say when they may have died. His daughter suspects carbon monoxide poisoning as well.
Oh.
Wow.
I feel like vomiting. Like
that's crazy.
And I'm sure his breadth of work like goes far beyond that one line in Heartbreakers, but he was 95, so I didn't see a lot of his work.
Okay, so he's best known for his role in The French Connection, 1971. Then he also starred in Bonnie and Clyde, heard of it. Young Frankenstein, heard of it. Night Moves, Bite the Bullet, Superman, Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven, which earned him his second Academy Award, and The Royal Tenenbaums, a classic.
Oh, I can't believe they didn't put Heartbreaker in there. I guess that really proves like how...
they're disgusting. Sorry. How did they not put that in there?
Well, I don't know. It's disgraceful and shows a real lack of taste.
It also must his other movies must be so amazing that they outrank Heartbreakers. Think about that.
That's what I was saying. Like he's so accomplished that Heartbreakers doesn't even crack the top 10. Yeah. That movie's so good.
It is. Watch Heartbreakers in honor of Gene Hackman today.
Yes, support. And it's such a fabulous film.
Yeah, let me see if he's in anything else that we like. Because I do feel like we know him from other stuff.
He has a very familiar face, but when I saw his face, I automatically knew. I'm like, that's my boy.
I feel like vomiting.
Oh,
and I do feel like vomiting.
I do. I feel sad. Lots of death today. Those are like the worst stories to cover. Ugh.
Yeah, they are. So now we can move on to something a
lighter
little more
brighter?
extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial.
Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez will be flying into space on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin next mission.
Oh, wait, I didn't know any of this. I didn't know I didn't know where the sentence was going because you said extraterrestrial and then you said Katy Perry. So I'm like, oh,
her song. She's
E.T.
remixing.
Yeah. I'm
Gayle
like, oh, that's
King.
funny, Jackie. Good job. And then I'm like, wait, Gayle, Lauren. I did not know where the sentence was going from the moment you started.
I love that. Keeping you on your feet.
Yes. I love when you read a story that usually I know what we're going to talk about, or I've seen it on social media. I haven't even heard this story, and I need to know how the three of these women got connected.
So Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' aerospace company, is sending an all-women crew into space on its next flight, including singer Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez, his fiancée. The company on Thursday announced the 6 people flying on the NS-31 mission sent to launch in the spring of 2025. Okay, so like months away. I love the short lead time. Thanks, Jeff. The crew also includes Bahamian American aerospace engineer Aisha Bowe, civil rights activist Amanda Wen, and film producer Carrie Ann Flynn.
I just want to say, like, if all these, like, you know, billionaires, it's the space race, they're all getting up there doing their thing, and they're all like, I'm taking the first cancer patient, I'm taking the first dog, like, and so, like, I could see somebody say, I'm taking the first podcaster and sending me an invitation, right? Mm-hmm. The way I would never go on Blue Origin, like, it just gives, like, the janky vibes, like, kind of Spirit Airlines energy. Like, I don't know, it's low-key kind of a crazy thing to do. And I would soon go on Virgin. I would obviously go on SpaceX. Like, they're obviously best in the biz. And then I think I would go Richard Branson. He would be my last, Jeff Bezos. I don't know why his airline, he did it for the wrong reasons, right? He wants to, like, keep up with Elon. He wants to, like, be a billionaire, like, be buff and, like, yeah, I'm going to space too. He just does it for, like, really, I think, shallow, vapid reasons. And I think that it kind of gives submersible energy.
Ooh, I understand. I see, like, why you think that, and I don't not think that. However, like, we have to remember that Jeff Bezos, like, is a nerd, and, like, this is what nerds get off on. Like, the fact that he has all this money in the world, like, what does he want to do? He wants to go to space because he's a nerd. Also because he's, like, so competitive.
Think he wants, like, I think he's a nerd who's really interested in a lot of nerdy things, not including space, until he saw how much attention the other billionaires were getting. And he's now, like, in this era of his life where he's doing things for attention, right? He doesn't, like, go to Amazon every day and, like, innovate. Like, he gets on his boat. He wants to be a celebrity. He's hanging out with celebs. He's buffing up at the gym. Like, he's thirsty. And so I think that this was a really insincere project that he took on, not for the love of space travel. You can see when the other billionaires talk about space, like, there's this curiosity there. He's doing it for really, like, shallow. He wants attention.
For him, also, no, like, this is a hobby. Like, he sends people up to space, like, for sport and then also, like, for his ego. But we're just, hey, want to go to space today? Because we can. And also, I feel like these things are a little misleading because when I hear this, I'm like, oh, like, Katy Perry's going to the moon. Like,
right,
no.
And she's putting on a spacesuit and, like, orbiting throughout.
They are literally taking a rocket. They're leaving the orbit and they're coming right back down. Like, it's not, you know, a multi-day.
It's still crazy, but yes.
But now these things are so much more commonplace just to, like, take a trip to outer space.
I'm so uninterested. Again, no one has offered me a ride, and it probably never will. But if I ever got an invitation, like, the way I would never go, I think it's seriously the stupidest thing.
And also, of course, like, if a podcaster is going to space, like, it will be Joe Rogan because he loves space.
Not only that, like, if a podcaster is going to space, like, that's the one that crashes. Like, I just know it.
It's not going to be you. Like, and there's so many podcasters who are into space and, like, we're not. We kind of, like, clown on this. So I don't think we have to worry about what to do with our invitations. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I could see someone being like, I could see Brian getting a seat and being like, do you want to come?
That, I could see that.
And no, I don't. Like, don't ask me. I'm not going.
Well, it's unclear if it's just the crew is, if just, like, the passengers are all women or, like, everyone operating the rocket as well are also women. Like, if it's fully woman, I think it's full woman.
And they're all, like, trying to do these not branded, but, like, categorized.
Yeah, like, Guinness, like, break a record.
Yes.
All women, all
dogs.
Oldest, youngest, fattest, skinniest.
Yeah, no. Okay, maybe I would go as the fattest, but, like, it's just lame. It's really, the space race is giving, like, dick measuring contest, and Jeff Bezos, for some reason, is giving me, like, smallest dick energy. Like, he was last to the race. He is doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, I don't think like, nerds have a lot of different interests. His was clearly tech, and I don't think, like, he's into space. I think he does it because he wants to keep up with everyone.
I think every nerd is into space.
I don't, and I think that's you painting with a broad brush.
Yeah, not to stereotype, but I think, like, every nerd is into the galaxy. Yeah, I do.
Let's ask Kendall Jenner.
She's totally like, are aliens real?
She totally, like, takes, like, a private plane and, like,
goes
does a whole
Area
weekend
51.
Area 51,
yeah.
being like, wait, did you guys hear that?
100%.
She's such a nerd.
She's such a nerd. And nerds love space. They just do.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you have to.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story, our fourth story?
Yeah.
Inside the 6-figure goodie bag given to the Oscar nominees.
This is always good.
This is always fun. So Oscar nominees this year will receive an array of luxury products and services, including a complimentary home renovation project management from Maison Construction. They will also...
Wait. That's insane.
That's insane. They will also get a stay at a 5-star resort in the Maldives.
Wow.
The night in one of the hotels starts at $3,000 a night. They will be getting a 4-night stay.
$12,000.
They will also get a 5-night luxury wellness retreat in Sri Lanka.
Wow.
They will also be getting a stay at the Cotton House Hotel 5-star in Barcelona.
Okay, so lots of trips.
Lots of trips. Then they're also getting cosmetic surgeon specialties that they would want. Then they're also getting like all the luxury skincare, all of that.
Products.
The full range of Miage skincare, estimated to cost more than $500. L'Oreal Paris is also contributing. Miage, M-I-A-G-E.
And what was the second one, Paris?
L'Oreal Paris are also contributing a selection of hair care to the swag bags. Danacera will supply their D22 tonic, and then a bunch of other, the crap too. But there's a lot of non-crap in here.
Yeah, and so are all nominees getting the same bag, like from the audio mixer to the supporting actor?
That's a great question. Does the audio mixer get this bag?
Does the audio mixer get the home renovation? Because I've heard, every year they share this, and it's always like really luxury trips and products, but I've never heard of a free home renovation.
Well, it's also like
and just best documentary international short.
Right. And like he probably wants it more.
He needs the free one more.
Yeah. Also, the gift bag is subject to tax laws, so some celebrities don't cash in on all the items offered to them.
Oh, I wouldn't either. Like sometimes it's like when you win a car, that if you win a car on a TV show, it could seriously put you in jail. Like how it could bankrupt you. Oh, I would only accept the things I plan on using.
Yeah. Oh my God. The list, like the whole list is so long. Like an Ancestry DNA kit, body contouring procedures.
Ooh, I'd cash in on that.
Karma nuts, air roasted cashews. Yummy.
Nah.
Just like a lot of shit. Like it's still a gift bag with their shite, but like
it's also funny because when you
trips.
get a gift bag from an event, you like think like you're walking out with like a tote. And this is not I'm sure it's not even a physical gift bag. Like it's not at the event.
Or there's like cards in like, come to Sri Lanka.
They probably deliver it to your house in like a Parji basket.
Yes. So congrats to the nominees. It pays to be nominated.
I guess it really
now
is
I know why
honor.
people get so upset when they don't get nominated because they're not getting a home renovation.
Right, and that's why they always say like it's truly an honor to be nominated because it is. That's half the battle.
It is.
Damn, that's crazy.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
No, is it our fifth and final story that's brought to you by Thrive Cosmetics, perchance?
It is.
For over 10 years, Thrive Cosmetics has celebrated the strength and beauty of women. But it's not just about makeup, it's about a commitment to becoming your best self, to thrive in every moment, and to empower others to do so. And Thrive Cosmetics beauty products are certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free, made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, high performance and trademarked formulas, and uncompromising standards. So Thrive Cosmetics is sort of a cornerstone, if you will, of Toast Glam. I'm wearing the mascara right now. I've been wearing it for years. They have a bunch of really viral products. I think their liquid lash extensions is probably their bestseller. I love it. I get a new tube every couple of months, but their brilliant eye brightener is fabulous. Their hydrating shine lip tints are also fabulous. So the liquid lash extensions mascara is the product I probably love the most. It lasts all day without clumping, smudging, or flaking. It's a tubing mascara, so you can kind of mimic the look of lash extensions without the damaging glue or the salon prices. And it's also really easy to remove. At night, I use like a little micellar water. It slides right off with warm water, a washcloth. There's no soap required. Its nourishing ingredients support longer, stronger, and healthier looking lashes over time. And it's a flake-free, they also have a flake-free tubing formula, which dramatically lengthens and defines your lashes from root to tip. Also, the brilliant eye brightener is great for an inner corner highlight, a shimmery lid. It's really easy to use. It's very like accessible. I feel like if you're not like amazing at makeup, their products are really easy to use. So celebrate the women in your life with Thrive Cosmetics. It's luxury beauty that gives back. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/toast. That's THRIVE Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/toast for 20% off your first order. Today's episode is also brought to you by Built Rewards. So this is a PSA for anybody who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank us because earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. You don't even have to check with your landlord to start earning points that you can use towards flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, even your next rent payment. So let me break it down for you. I am a Built member. I have been for years. As you guys know, I rent. I love renting. The only issue is like, the whole feeling of like lighting your money on fire every month. And so Built is Pargy because there's no cost to join. Once you become a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and then also on your everyday spending. So you can earn points on non-rent payments as well. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotel and properties all around the world where you can redeem Built points and enjoy. Points can also be redeemed towards future rent payments, unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, the question is, why not? Start earning points on rent if you're already paying. I mean, it's seriously like rent can feel like such a waste. So to get something in return is the best feeling. Go to joinbuilt.com/toast. That's joinbilt.com/toast. Make sure to use that link, joinbuilt.com/toast, so you can start earning points on your rent payments today. Joinbilt.com/toast.
So before we get into the fifth and final story, still no Epstein list, but I just saw something about the Gene Hackman death. There were actually 3 dogs in the house. 1 passed away with them. 2 others survived.
Oh, that's really crazy.
Yeah. Just something to keep in mind as we learn more.
Ugh, that's so sad.
Yeah. Our fifth and final story is some big news for the kids. Big news in the kid community. Mummy Pig, Peppa Pig's mother, is pregnant.
I heard she's knocked up.
She's expecting baby number 3 with Daddy Pig. So it's
all good. It's all in the faith.
wedlock. And fellow pregnant mom Kylie Kelsey broke the news. So this is just like...
Oh, is that like a partnership?
Yeah, cute, sweet news.
Like
the star of Peppa Pig is expecting her 3rd baby with Daddy Pig, sharing the news exclusively on Kylie's podcast, Not Gonna Lie. That's really funny. The couple is, of course, already parents to daughter Peppa and son George. And so the show, this is from Peppa Pig, the show, the kids show.
I know.
Yeah, but for anyone who doesn't know, and like the show has been on for a really long time, and it's Peppa and George, Mommy Pig, Daddy Pig. You never consider that like...
They're still in like the phase of growing their family.
That Mommy Pig still got it.
Right. And you'd love to see like a healthy marriage, keeping the spark alive. It's really sets a good example for kids. And I do think that if you are like a young family where you have to like explain to your kids that like mommy's pregnant and like not the birds and the bees, but like the beginnings, you know? This is a fabulous tool for that.
Yeah, I feel like so often, like, family shows, like, the cast is set in stone.
Yeah, they're just like, they're these fictional families that exist exactly how they are.
They don't really age, especially, like, does Bluey get older?
Cartoons,
No, like,
right.
It's just like they don't exist in time.
I am so shocked that you chose this as a story, only because Meghan Markle posted on social media yesterday, and I thought for sure, like,
I've been burned, okay?
Yeah, I watched the video and there was like nothing to say about it. So I was curious if you were going to choose it and like you had some theory that you saw.
No,
like,
actually, I didn't watch the video, so that's why I didn't choose it.
It was just a montage of clips. You didn't miss anything. Okay, so I mean, I prefer Peppa.
This is big news in the community. And I agree with you. Like, it will be helpful for families that are growing. But for some reason, like, I didn't know that Mommy Pig was like still getting down.
Shaking that thing for Daddy Pig late at night. Mommy Pig's on all 4s. Oink, oink, bitch. Get over here.
Bing, bong, bing, bong,
you
bing,
didn't know
boom.
she was throwing it in a circle like that.
I didn't know she was throwing that cooter for Daddy Pig.
And you know what? It's really inspiring as somebody who's building my own family. And, you worry, of course, like what's going to happen to my marriage.
Yeah.
You think like my marriage has been this way for 8 years and is it going to change? Will I stop being the priority? That obviously is like my biggest fear. Like, will Ben like the baby more than me? For sure. And it's nice to see like a really healthy example of a good all-American family, even though I believe they're British.
They are very British. And I'm sure you've also seen, I think like back in the day we reported on this, that like American kids are starting to speak, who love Peppa Pig and watch it all the time, are developing a British accent, which I think is good.
Yeah, I have no issues with that. And you know who would love that? King George. Maybe Peppa
like,
Pig.
Yeah, she's like
is the 1776 reincarnated spirit of King George, who lost it all.
And the son is named George.
Oh my God, I'm telling you.
Peppa Pig is a colonizer.
I was going to say, it's giving colonization.
It is. But that's a topic for another day. Today we celebrate the Simcha.
Okay, but Peppa Pig is canceled.
Sure.
Get her colonizing fat ass out of here.
Yeah. And then the Kylie Kelsey bit is actually cute too, that they partnered for the announcement.
That's a good partnership.
And I think they're a big Peppa household. In our house, we call her Peppers. But
of course you do. Cogers and Peppers.
Peppers Pinkers.
Peppers. And that's,
So-
you guys have the Peppa Pig Tony, right?
The
I know
Peppa
that
Pig
one.
Tony is how we got into Peppa because it pops off like really early in the beginning.
Yeah. I've been there for...
And we all dance.
It's so nice when I think about like how I won't have to invest in technology like that because like I am a Tony, you know?
Do you know that there are Tonys, and someone told me to do this, and this is
I did know
hack.
this.
There are Tonys that are called creative Tonys where you can record stuff. So like if you're traveling or something, you could.
Good morning, girlies.
So
It's
we
the
could put our song
toast.
on a Tony and then
love
play
that.
it for the kids. But it's also nice, like say you're traveling and you want to tell them a
Good
good night
night.
story. You could record yourself, put it on a Tony. They put it on. Like it's actually a brilliant idea. This is the best use I've seen.
Agreed. I'm going to get like one of those creative Tonys and just be sitting in the studio all day. I like being alone too much to dance with you.
By the way, we should record something we should record like one kids episode. And then
A
people
whole hour-long episode?
No, like 20, 25 minutes. Like that's for the children.
That's going to be hard not to curse for 25 minutes.
We could edit it.
Oh, true.
And that way we could send it to people and they could put it on the Tony. And that way we'll never age out of Toast fans.
Oh, I love that. That's actually brilliant, like thinking for the future.
Yeah, that's how we're going to capture new audiences, coachers. Tell the marketing team. Me and you.
Okay, Olivia. Should we dive into Summer House recap?
We should dive.
Okay, so new episode of Summer House. Obviously, like the big thing is Kyle versus Paige, which I am obsessed with, by the way, because I feel like Kyle gets away with so much, and like sort of a lot of the Summer House castmates, especially people who have been on for a while, it's just sort of it's just like this accepted thing that you have to like suck Kyle's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to see Paige questioning that. Like never stop asking why.
Yeah, also Kyle seems to be like an annoying person, right? And
Right, he's not someone you want to champion.
Right. And I think that like Paige, like, and a lot of people just like put up with him because like they love Amanda and like that's her husband. You would do that for any friend. But like once he gives her cause to unleash, like now we are hearing what she really thinks.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating.
So before that, we meet the new man, Imrul, and we also see Danielle, she was like, I've missed so much. Like, seriously, it's been one weekend. You've missed one
Right.
weekend.
Oh my God. When she was like, the house feels different. Like literally it was 3 days that you missed. You might as well be a cast member. Like you're here.
Yeah, you've missed just as much as Imrul.
No, and then like you're in a confessional, like you're on the show.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
There was so much made of like her decision to leave. The fact that she has a confessional, like she's on the show.
Yeah, and it was unclear because she just like showed up like one day, but is she staying the weekend? Or is she just visiting?
I think if she were visiting,
She's kind of giving like senior who graduated who comes back.
for sure. But if she were visiting, she would come to like a party or a pool day, not be the
Yeah.
first one in the house setting up.
Yeah.
Like she's there for the weekend for sure.
Okay. And that July 4th party, I just feel like and I said this last week, but I feel like it was actually really obvious this week, the growing divide between like the younger castmates and the older ones, because like they shut down the party, it was still light out. And then like everybody gets in bed, but like all the young people are on the couch, like still drinking, hanging out. Lexi and people are giving I've seen so much Jesse Solomon hate.
Yeah,
like
because he said a couple things in last night's episode that were like incongruous, and like I love how all in he is on Lexi, but like if you want to be all in on someone, like you wouldn't even look at another girl. Like the way that he feels about her, like
Agreed.
It shouldn't be hard at all. Like duh, we're exclusive. Like I couldn't even look at someone else. Like especially she's so like wonderful and they're so cute together. So the fact that he had pause about like, wait, you really think that we're gonna dive in like this so quickly and like literally share a room and see each other every day and you would talk to another? Are you crazy?
Yeah, I didn't think she was being unreasonable in asking that, but I'm saying I'd seen a lot of like negative Jesse Solomon before that. Now I'm like, well, you're not serious. Like at first I was such a champion. I'm like, yes, like go get married. Who cares if you're going so fast?
And
but then like the fact that she just said like, if you're gonna get to know me, like let's just get to know each other. I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
Not at all. I liked that she said that she's not going to be like a doormat and just like so glad that Jesse's looking my way. And also she doesn't have to be that way because like, you know.
She's her.
She's her. So if anyone can say, like, I'm glad that she's saying it. And also, she's right about the Instagram comments. Like, they're in it. Once you're in a relationship,
that was fucking
inappropriate.
weird. Of course they are. And like, it was funny. And like, he did it for like a bit. Like, I think he left one comment and people loved it. So it was just like something he did for
and
the
he
fans.
like left
it was cute
Amanda a
and
nice
funny.
comment once. Then people thought he was like with Amanda. So then he like kept doing it because it's like a
And then people started shipping him and it was like, Kyle's the worst. And like, look at this nice guy. It was funny and cute. But like, no, if you are actually seeing someone, if Ben was like leaving comments, like, And she didn't even say stop leaving comments. She was like, just change your words a little bit to like, you look beautiful in that dress.
Yeah.
I thought nothing she said or requested was even remotely unreasonable. I thought she was actually really like measured in her requests. And the fact that that's where he lost me. Because up until this point, people were like hating, love bombing Jesse. Like, who cares? It's cute. Now I'm like, no, this is weird.
And I didn't like that the girls didn't agree that he should stop. They were kind of like, oh, that's weird that she said that. Like, no, it's not. It's like,
not at all.
They should have been like, yeah, it's time to change your comments if you're going to be seeing someone. So I thought that was weird that they couldn't see that. But that also like speaks to this issue that we always have where like people in the house like don't know how to function around a relationship. And they just want everyone to just be like acting single all the time while being in a relationship. And things change when you're in a relationship. So I would say like, and I was saying this last week, I think that's like, one of the downfalls of them moving so quickly is Jesse doesn't have enough time to change. Like when you slowly progress into a relationship, you dial back things slowly. You realize, but like to go overnight, like I have a girlfriend, I have to change every single thing about my life. Like that's hard for a man,
like an immature guy.
Yeah, because they're like, why should I change? Like, but when it's a slower progression, you don't notice how much you're changing.
Now, I want to talk about Imrul because I like that they're bringing in someone who is young, who is single, who is hot. But like people who nonstop talk about how much sex they have, I was like, okay, so you're a virgin.
Yeah, sex parties.
It's like so my least favorite.
Swing, like, okay, that's what you have to. Okay.
And that conversation between him and Wes about like what are people from Bangladesh called?
Yeah,
like, and he was like Bengali. He was like, oh sweet, yeah, I love that. Like, yeah, okay. Like, you love that? Okay, that's awesome. He's like, oh yeah, like Bengali tiger. I love that.
Yeah.
Like as if Imrul made it up. Like, I love that. He just, like, that's just the word.
Yeah. And then also it's like, yeah, it's fun to have a single guy in the house. But when we just heard you had sex with 2.5 girls in one day, like nobody in the house wants to get with you.
No, not at all. But I don't think that's why he was brought.
Why? I want Jesse's and Wes to like come in and connect with girls. But if all the girls like, that's not a suitor.
No, he's like, I think meant to be like a social person where it's like, they're supposed to be going out, throwing parties, inviting people. That's how we got to know like so many random castmates, like friends who come over. And I think that's more his thing.
I just feel like guys who come into the house who don't have any sort of like romantic potential with any girl just get forgotten.
Yes.
Like even like
fair.
think about the people who are in the house. Kyle, of course, like is with Amanda, but
he's not like a
even Carl and Lindsay. Now that Carl's just like at the party.
Doing the scavenger hunt. Although I do want to say that actually that made me like him a little bit. Like, because it is an awkward thing. Like she's doing this household thing. And what are you going to do? Sit in the corner and cry? So the fact that he not only participated, but took it really seriously, I actually liked that so much.
Me too. But that's next week, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh man, not me thinking of the previews.
That was a preview for next week. And I agree when I saw him like leading the charge, like running like the wind. I'm like, oh, okay, I like that. And what's also so funny is like they keep being like, if Lindsay and Carl can be at the same table in the same house, like so can Wes and Sierra. I know that they were engaged, but like Wes and Sierra's situation was like more heartbreaking than Lindsay and Carl's.
Yeah.
Because I guess like by the time Lindsay and Carl broke up, they kind of hated each other. Wes and Sierra broke up when like she still loved him.
Still in love with him. And I know because I remember seeing a preview that like down the line there's like, more drama with Sierra and like Jesse Solomon flirting or something. And I really hope Sierra stops dating guys in the house because I feel like on Winter House, like with the Austin stuff and then that bled into Summer House with Danielle and Lindsay, like she dates like the single Bravo guys and expects something different than what we're going to get from these like 40-year-old bachelors. And it's heartbreaking to see because you champion her so much because she's really sweet and she's just looking for love and she's so looking in the wrong places.
It's really true. Like in hindsight, Austin and West are just like the same kind of guy that are like having fun. They're not bad guys. They're not serious guys, especially at the times that she's meeting them. Like West came on a reality show for a million things, like to be all of it, like, and the fact that he's interested in watch parties, like he just was not there to get married. And so, to like keep seeking out the same thing and then being like so
disappointed in the results
when it doesn't work out. Yeah, it's time to try something different. I agree.
And I want to say, like, I was a big hater of Weenie West, like, during the reunion. And, like, we coined the term Weenie West. I've moved on. I think he adds a lot to the show. I think he's really funny. And I think we're, like, less and less, because the cast is, like, really starting to separate into two groups. Like, those that get into bed and those that, like, hang out and party and go out and drink. And Wes is like a cornerstone of keeping that young group alive. So he's a real necessary part of the show. He's a good reality star. Like that hot dog thing was hilarious. Like they're doing like it's good. It's good. And I've seen so much hate for like the new young cast members. Like the Bravo fans do not like the young girls, the young guys. Like
so just Lexi and Bailey.
Jesse and Wes, like they don't like this sort of new generation of stars coming in the house. And I disagree. And you know I'm such a hater when new people come. I'm always like, go back to the originals. Like I'm so stubborn. I think that Bravo has actually done a very good job of keeping the show like you have to cycle people in and cycle people out. And I think they've done a great job. And even though Bailey doesn't work out, Lexi's great. And
Lexi is an inspired choice.
With Wessie and Jess being last season. Jesse and Wes last season, I think Lexi will stick around. So for so long, they couldn't keep a single guy in the house. Like when you think of all the people who came in and out, it was so hard to find guys. Lexi is a fabulous addition. I think that they're doing like what they couldn't do with Vanderpump Rules. I think they're doing it quite well. I'm surprised to see so much hate.
Yeah, I agree. Some people just like don't like change, and maybe those young people like make them feel old, but
yeah,
that's what a summer house is. And I do think right now like it all works together, even though they're like more split. There's interconnecting storylines.
It works.
So it totally works. I
love
also
to
like
see
I agree
Paige and
about
Lindsay.
Wes that I've moved on, and I like seriously couldn't stand him. But he's like taken his hate,
victimhood.
You know, like he's gotten like hate, and now it's time to move on. You're not just gonna hate someone forever. He said something really funny last night, which is like, do you think that Danielle's gonna say something to Jesse and Lexi about moving too quickly?
LOL.
So that was just like, yeah, I'm ready to move on. Like he made a mistake.
He did his time.
He did his time. Like, what am I going to hold on to it?
We need to talk about Paige and Lindsay like being friends and shopping together for baby
It's all
clothes.
I ever wanted.
It's all we've ever wanted. It was really beautiful to see. And I love so many things about it. Like I loved this auntie role that Paige like immediately fell into. And just the whole thing made me so happy. And I just love this season of life for Lindsay. Like we liked Lindsay before. We were like Lindsay apologists, but she's always been like somebody you had to defend and be like, yeah, she's crazy. But this era of her life so suits her. She's so beautiful, like carrying and looking, and it's just a joy to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved it.
It's blending really well. Like even if she doesn't want to stay in the house the whole weekend, like seeing her in the city. Then there was the rooftop party. I can't believe we haven't even spoken about.
I can't believe how everybody shows up to these things. Like a rooftop summer party, like packed with people, such like, you know, Paige was seriously dying not to go. Just like looks so horrible. Just to watch this 47-year-old man DJ for like a beverage company that he like uses like a knife and like stabs everybody with. I couldn't believe everybody showed up. Like that's so nice. And that's kind of what Paige was alluding to, because she like, you know, she puts up with this bullshit. She does things she doesn't want to do. She makes no money off of this company.
None of them do. You would think that the cast members have like even like a small percentage, 0.5%, 1% of Loverboy, because they're hawking it every single week. They're drinking it. They're making it look good. They have all zero. They've not made a cent. And
I think for Paige, who has really steadily gone from being like a reality star to like a true celebrity and a really influential person, like she just did like a huge campaign with like Malibu rum or something. Like she gets paid for this. And so maybe it's starting to bother her a little bit more. Plus the text messages were just like, are you fucking kidding me? I loved everything she said. And then we didn't like the spritz and the Craig of it all. But beyond that, it's like, are you kidding me? Like how dare you even say one cross word to me after all I do for you and I never complain?
Yeah.
And that's really harks
like,
back.
The expectation from Kyle that everyone will keep doing this, and like that
for nothing.
In the beginning,
Jesse Solomon wearing a Loverboy hat the whole episode.
He didn't want anyone doing anything else, but like it's been years now. Like people are able to do other things like that, but that you would still be like that rigid while giving them nothing. But really, people, and they're on a show that's like about alcohol, and they can't work with other alcohol brands.
They can't
or
drink
people,
anything
like,
else.
Adjacent to Paige, so like Hannah and Craig, who are not on the show, can't do a partnership. And that is, so they talked also about Hannah on BFF's pod when she said that like she got fired from the show because Kyle got her fired because she had done a ad with another brand.
Truly. Yeah, and that's kind of been like like she had said that, and the internet knew that partnership she did, I believe it was with Truly, was like a big part of him trying to get her fired. And his favorite thing, Kyle, like every time he gets accused of that, is like, what are you talking about? Like Hannah's Q score, everybody knows Hannah's Q score, Hannah's Q score, Hannah's Q score. And when you're a reality star, like Bravo does like focus groups and testing, and they you get like a likability score. And if people really like you, that's your Q score. It goes up, it goes down. Having a negative Q score obviously like sucks, but it doesn't mean that you get fired. Like people need to be disliked.
Right.
People need villains. So Kyle's flawed like reason, what? I didn't get her fired. She had a bad Q score. So did Lisa Rinna for many years. And like you're a necessary part of the show.
Who would have had a lower Q score than West after the reunion?
Right.
What, and so he should just be fired? No, it's more interesting to keep him on.
He uses that metric like he thinks people don't understand it. So like, well, she had a low Q score. Of course she got fired. Actually, a low Q score is not everybody can have a high Q score. That's a boring show.
No, it's a sign of interest.
Right, exactly. Like controversial, you're a little radioactive. So he loves to use that when it's actually not true. And so it's just kind of crazy because the thing he's being accused of with Hannah from years ago is exactly what's happening now with Craig and Spritz. And Craig is not even a cast member on this show.
Right.
So I understand, first of all, Paige being like, don't crawl up my ass for things other people did. I like that. I agree with her completely. Like, I hate when people are mad at you for something somebody you know did. Like, bitch, get off my ass. This isn't me. Especially with how much I fucking do for you and I don't say anything about it. So now that you brought it up, let's talk about it.
No, but also like not only what everyone does for Loverboy, which is like insane and for them, but that he does nothing for anyone else. Like, I don't follow him, but does he ever talk about Giggly Squad? Does he ever talk about
Paige was
her
like,
tour?
what have you
Does he ever
ever
talk about her
supported?
Amazon Live? Like, probably not.
No, it's so true. When she said, when have you ever supported anything I've done? It's so true. Think about all the things they do. They're writing a book. She has a podcast. She goes on tour. She's a huge Amazon Live contributor. She does a ton of fashion stuff. Like, when have you literally ever even like left a nice comment? Like, you don't support, but I have to be over here doing like millions of dollars in free advertising for you and your company just for me to get yelled at for one thing that my friend and boyfriend did that you don't like. She's so justified in being activated. Like, and I need her to go harder.
Yeah, no, she's so activated. Like, she's just saying everything. And it probably things that were like obvious truths, but she would never say because of Amanda.
Yes, there's a lot of complex dynamics. One, Amanda, but two, Kyle being like the OG castmate. I think he's not a producer by any, but he definitely has like, if there's a hierarchy, he's at the top of it. He works with production, like on getting people cast. So he has power that other people don't have. So you have to like walk this line with Kyle and, being his friend and his adversary while also trying to maintain your job. So and I feel like in the beginning, like the Workus twins and Steven, they were all trying to say that, but like they all just got fired,
Right.
But now there are all these other castmates who are like, the Paige is not going to get fired. Like, she can say whatever the fuck she wants.
Paige is not going to get fired. And I feel like for Paige, she's not scared of getting fired. And that's why she will say whatever she wants.
Powerful.
Because I'm sure at some point, if she leaves the show or the show leaves her, like, she knows that she has all this stuff off of the show. I wouldn't be surprised if she left on her own accord. So to not care, she
is power.
She doesn't need to care and she doesn't need the show.
But his sort of, the imbalance of power gives him room to act certain ways, and that's why people put up with a lot of the shit that he does. Whereas if it was any other regular castmate, like imagine Danielle and her fashion app coming at Paige, I can't believe you're doing Amazon Live. Like, that's what it is.
Right.
So why can't she say that, but Kyle can?
Right.
This isn't a Loverboy sponsored show.
They're not getting paid by Loverboy.
Correct.
So that's...
Unless you're an employee, Carl.
They're being good friends. They're being above and beyond every single party, every single episode,
and they're still getting yelled at.
Right. It's insane.
It's insane. Paige is so justified. Like,
it's
two-faced?
time.
You think I'm two-faced? I'm so ready.
It's time, and I'm actually grateful to Spritz and Craig for bringing this conversation to the fore.
I also love to see Paige and Hannah having each other's back so much because I feel like because of that like power imbalance, when Hannah got fired, you still have to like walk a certain line because Paige was still trying to keep her job and that's her best friend and she wants to defend her to Kyle, but then also, Amanda's her best friend. And now I feel like Paige is at a real point where like she can defend her friend so wholeheartedly without giving a fuck because she has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And that must feel really good like for Hannah too.
Feels
and
like
I love
justice.
that Hannah is still being talked about on this show. Like, you just know she fucking lives for it. Like, they tried to destroy her life. They almost did. And she just fucking lives for this show.
That is so funny.
It really is. It's kind of a phoenix rising from the ashes type of story, which you love to see.
Yeah. Justice being served.
So the big kerfuffle is next week between Kyle and Paige. And let me tell you, Kyle is not a worthy adversary. Like, Paige is so intellectually, like, she's a good fighter.
Yeah.
She uses her words well. She doesn't fight a lot. So when she does, she's mad.
Yeah.
He is not a worthy adversary for her.
No, I think he like storms out and says, I'm done. Classic.
Yeah, he can barely string 2 words together. Like, I'm so looking forward to the verbal annihilation
The
that will occur
evisceration.
of Kyle Cook.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun to watch.
So we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. Tomorrow is the last episode of the week. We've got Queenie and Weenie. We've got Southern Charm recap. And then the new episodes of Love is Blind, I think, release tomorrow. So we'll have the weekend to watch them. And that will be Monday. I feel like we're watching so much TV these days.
Yeah.
It's like that season of the year where a lot of shows are on.
Yeah, our shows. Don't
Yeah.
forget, Southern Charm's on tonight. I know you forgot.
Excuse me, rewind the tapes. I just said tomorrow we have Southern Charm.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. I was having my Southern Charm persecution complex.
Yes, you were. And I just want you to know, like, it is now in my brain as a part of our weekly schedule. Like, it won't be forgotten.
And now that, like, Southern Charm is, like, so, White Lotus.
Prevalent.
Everyone's talking about it.
I thought you were saying Paige and Craig, too.
Oh, Paige and Craig, of course. There's just intel coming in from all the different
It's so true.
Yeah, so I will be enjoying my Southern Charm this evening.
That is our show. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast Millennium Morning Show, where we deliver the fast 5 stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast and where podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, Stitcher, Public Video, iHeartRadio, Castbox, all the places where you listen to podcasts. Find us, so just leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.